Please welcome Reverend Jennifer. Thank you. Happy Easter! Yay! Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Larry, everyone who's part of our beautiful, beautiful service. What a wonderful Easter Sunday. We're going to start with a little meditation, then I'll have a little bit of a talk, and then we will have our white stone service. So I encourage you now to take a moment, settle in, breathing in and breathing out. Continue as long as necessary. Breathe in deeply and gently release. Inhale the breath of spirit and exhale into the stillness. With our feet on the floor, back against the chair, we are supported. Supported by that chair, supported by spirit. As we settle into this sacred moment, we open our hearts to the light of resurrection within us. Today we celebrate the rising of the Christ presence, not only in the story of Jesus, but in the story of our own lives. In this quiet, we let go of what was. We release the old names, the old labels, the old ways of seeing ourselves. We make space for what Spirit is now birthing within us. Remembering that breath of life. Feeling that divine energy through our whole body, in every cell, every muscle, every tissue. Imagine yourself stepping out of the tomb of limitation into the morning light of new possibility. The stone is rolled away. Your heart is open. You are free. You are being called to a new name, a name whispered by the divine just for you. You may not yet know what it is, but it lives in your soul, ready to be revealed. Breathe into that space of receiving, being open to that still small voice. Release and renew. Being open to receive. feeling that holy presence. God is our strength. God is love for all. God is light. We are all blessed and divine. Taking another deep breath in. Exhale. Bringing our awareness back into this space. Feeling the air of the room on our skin. It's like scent of fresh flowers. Tuned into the music. Being present. When you're ready, open your eyes. Easter Sunday, the last page in our booklet. A Reason to Believe in Life by Teresa Burton. At the end of every growing season, as the days shorten and the air cools, the garden withers. Flowers droop and lose their color. Lush vegetation dries out before turning brittle. The garden dies. Before there can be a new garden in that space, the old vegetation will be cleared away, and in its place will be barren earth. Rains may come, even frost and snow, and new life may feel far away. But the days will once again grow longer, the air warm, and it will be a time to imagine new life growing in that space. Verdant and bountiful. The process begins again. The planting, the tending, and the nurturing of the new garden. Doesn't this describe the cycle of loss, the void, and the new life that plays out in so many ways before the course of our lives? We rarely determine the timetable, but we can trust the process. We can take comfort in the Easter story and find inspiration in the example Jesus left for us. He led an important, impactful life on earth, but Jesus' greatest gift was given to us when he left the earthly plane. He demonstrated the fullness of his divinity and promised that we may know our own. Like a garden that bears its fruit in season, Jesus left us with his teachings, his example to emulate, and his message of love and peace to bring into the world. Like the garden that eventually stops growing and withers, Jesus' earthly mission reached its end when his body died. But just as those who found the empty tomb realized, we can discover that life is eternal even as form changes. Throughout our ongoing and sometimes overlapping cycles of loss, void, and renewal, the Easter story gives us reason to believe in life. We see the cyclic nature of gardens' growth, planting and tending, harvesting and dying. The impermanence of physical life need not scare us or keep us from living fully. Indeed, it is a call to life, a call to reap and sow, and to be present to all life has to offer. When we can do that, we can better know the glory of the resurrection, calling us to the promise of new life. The resurrection. Left behind the book. That's all right. In the revealing word, Charles Fillmore talks about the resurrection. The restoring of mind and body to their original undying state. That's what we are doing. And we are doing this without knocking things over. We are doing this through our teachings, through our readings, through coming together as community, spiritual community with like-minded people who understand our divinity and we see the divinity in others. We are taking this opportunity of recognizing Easter Sunday to remember renewal. Toward the end of the Lenten season, we may feel tired. We may feel worn out. And then on Easter Sunday, we are born again. We are resurrected. We remember our love. We remember our divinity. We remember the love of others and the meaning and the teachings of Jesus. There is not a lot written about Jesus in the traditional history books, but the story of Jesus has been remembered from long, long after he left his physical body. Because that is what the power of love is. The power of love is unending. The power of love does not run out of energy as long as we have a little remembrance of it. And we don't forget the light that comes with that love, the peace that goes with that love. And when we become so busy, when we become so overwrought with seeming news and worldly affairs, we must come back to love. We must come back to that space of stillness in our heart. In our time of meditation and prayerful practice, we must come back to love, the most important power of all, the most important energy that gives life, it gives peace. It's so important, now more than ever it seems like. We cannot move forward without love. We cannot find peace without love. We cannot have light without love. Love is light. It brightens the light, helps it shine through the darkness, helps it move those clouds away so we can remember again the importance for humanity, for ourselves, for divinity. Love is behind it all. And that is where we get our energy from. That is where we are sustained. That is our sustenance. Love. Coming through the season of Lent and Easter, reading about the traditional story of Jesus and his crucifixion and walking up with the cross and the stories of being on the cross and his crucifixion and then being taken down. And we wait. And it is the love that brings us through those days of waiting till we see he is risen. He is risen indeed. Within each one of us, our Christ consciousness has come through brighter and bolder and more loving and filled with light because we remember who we are. And if we just remember ourselves, our light is not as bright as if we remember ourselves and each and every person we come in contact with, we are connected with, our friends, our families, people we see on the internet that we've never met in person. That is one of the beauties, I feel, of the internet, is it connects me with people I've never met before. But my world is expanded with these divine beings that I know exist, and I can put a face to. When I can expand my light to thousands of other people, I see the beauty of the single flame that reaches out and touches all of those other flames, and there's a bonfire of love and light. I see that and I envision that. And how can we have a dark world if we have a bonfire of light and love? We need to remember our part in that. And that is part of our practice, part of our teaching and the tools that we have for ourselves and to share with others. I've had more experience in the past couple of months with seeming strangers coming up and asking for prayer and wanting inspiration or an affirmation. And I am so grateful for the booklets that we have available. I'm so grateful for the Daily Word to be able to share these tools with them. That is part of our work, to remember what tools we have that we use for ourselves and can share with others. They don't need to be here on Sunday. They can join us. They can see it on YouTube. They can just have the experience of feeling heard, of feeling seen, and a smile and a kind word, a bless you, $3, a bottle of water, a hug. It means so much. And seemingly it seems like it's a little. But I recognize that early in my life, that meant so much to me. I would come to a new place and I hadn't been there before, and someone would see me, not just hand me something and tell me where to sit down. They would see me and say hello and really look in my eyes and recognize me as a divine being, as a spiritual being, as a human being. Even though I was there new the first time. Maybe I didn't look like the rest of them. That made me want to come back. That lifted me up. So I encourage you all to be aware when you're meeting new people or people you haven't seen for a while, or your brother or your sister, people you've known all your life. Be present with them. See them. And feel the love as it grows when we have that more awareness of being present when we're with each other. This is a seemingly difficult time right now, and it's most important now to be together in our thoughts and our actions. Be together. We are growing, and it's uncomfortable, and it's painful, but we're growing. This past week, Kat, who is our admin, she's also my program coordinator for the other job that I do. And we got a little snippy with each other this past week, and we was like, "Oh, that's not like us." Well, for a year, Kat and I worked together just by ourselves. Now we have someone new that's in the mix, and we're growing, and it's a wonderful thing. But I also told her, I said, growing sucks because we don't have that one-on-one time that we used to have. And so then we kind of get out of touch, and we're both so busy, and we just get a little cranky, and we don't want to be cranky with each other. Growing's important, but sometimes it's uncomfortable and it sucks. But if we see that we can't remain stagnant, growth must happen. And what a wonderful message as we move into the springtime. Easter always reminds me of spring, even if in some places it snowed yesterday. But it reminds me of spring and new life and things growing. And it's not comfortable for that little plant to pop out of the dirt, because a lot of times you put your seeds down and you stomp on them, because you forgot where you planted your stuff, right? So it's got to try and break through, and that's not comfortable. But when it does, it's beautiful. So we're all going through another growth spurt. Looks different, but it's going to be beautiful. And we envision that, and we see that, and try to make it as comfortable as we can for ourselves and others by seeing the light and seeing the love. And part of our Easter service at Unity of Los Cruces, Reverend Helen and I came up with this a couple of years ago, that we like to do the white stone ceremony during Easter. And in Emily Cady's book, Lessons in Truth, she talks about the white stone. Secrets are not told upon the housetop, nor is it possible to pass the greatest secrets, from one to another. God, the creator of our being, must himself whisper it to each living in the innermost of himself. To everyone who conquers or is consciously in process of overcoming, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone, or a mind like a clean white tablet. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. Revelations chapter 2, verse 17. It is no secret that it cannot even be put into human language or repeated by human lips. What you want today and what I want is that the words that we have learned to say as truth be made alive to us. We want a revelation of God in us as life, to be made to our own personal consciousness as health. We want today is a revelation to our consciousness of God within us as omnipotent power, so that we can, by a word or a look, accomplish that which I propose and succeed in the thing for which I sent it. We want the manifestation to us of the Father in us, so that we can know him personally. We want to be conscious of God working with us, both to will and to work. So if someone can help pass out the white stones, thank you. Okay, Jeff, can you give her a hand? And so take a white stone and take a marker. And while they're doing that, I'm going to read about what Charles Fillmore talked about white stone. When we redeem ourselves from bondage to sense, we shall be sustained by inner and spiritual food, hidden manna, which is understanding of truth and which is the foundation, a white stone, upon which we build up and develop our true Christ self. Thank you. Thank you both so very much. Everyone has white stone and a marker? All right. On this Easter Sunday, we celebrate the resurrection, the renewal of spirit, the rising of new life, and the awakening of divine identity within us. Today, we also honor a sacred unity tradition, the white stone ceremony. In ancient times, a white stone symbolized a new beginning. In Revelation 2:17, we read, "To the one who overcomes, I will give a white stone, and on the stone a new name is written, which no one knows except the one who receives it." This white stone you now hold represents freedom. It is a clean slate, an open invitation to receive your new spiritual name, word, or symbol, a divine calling for the year ahead. As we center into the silence, we ask, what is mine to be this year? What is seeking to rise in me? What name shall I take into this new chapter of life? Take a breath in and exhale. Close your eyes if you like. Listen. Again, asking, what is mine to be this year? What is seeking to rise in me? What name shall I take into this new chapter of life? Listen quietly. Be open to a phrase, a word, or a feeling that bubbles up from your inner Christ self. It may come as a whisper. It may come later. Trust its unfolding. When you are ready, write your word or name on the white stone. Let it be a sacred reminder of who you are becoming. We could speak these words together in sacred agreement. I am free to begin anew. I am free to begin anew. I am guided by the Christ within. I am guided by the Christ within. I receive my new name with faith, joy, and expectancy. I receive my new name with faith, joy, and expectancy. I rise into the life that is mine to live. I rise into the life that is mine to live. Keep your white stone in a meaningful place on your altar, desk, nightstand, as a touchstone for prayer and purpose throughout the year. Blessings on your resurrection journey, and happy Easter from all of us at Unity of Las Cruces. Amen. And our special music this Easter Sunday, our music director, Doug Adamz.
The egg, the rabbit, the tortoise, the hare, a leaf that is green on a branch that was bare. Soon all of the branches on all of the trees will be covered with green and bird nest and bees. Bees that hum and birds that trill returned on their journey from the long winter's chill. Yes, they trill and they tweet and they chirp and they squawk and they flutter for cover at the sight of a hawk. Easter, Passover, the phoenix, Aphrodite, traditions and religions, some forgotten, some still mighty. We all harmonized with the earth and her spinning long before the time known as in the beginning. The stone is rolled away. There's an angel by the cave. A flower sprouts from a cactus and out of a grave. And the lads still sing loud for their maidens fair, the glory of the girl with the flowers in her hair. And Aries wheels round and declares, I am number one in this procession. All return to life again, and the clouds play leapfrog, and the frogs pray for rain, and everyone knows that it's springtime again. And the clouds play leapfrog, and the frogs sing for rain, and everyone knows that it's springtime again.